Fans tailgating at Lambeau Field ahead of today's game against the Lions. It was also a chance to campaign for some of the candidates on Tuesday's ballot. This includes Eric Hovde, who's challenging Democratic Senator Tammy Baldwin, who is seeking her third term in office. Recent polling has this race considered to be a toss-up. Hovde spoke to fans, encouraging them to vote as part of his Time for Change bus tour across Wisconsin.
And what I'm hearing is people are ready for change. They've been hurt by inflation. They want our border closed. They want our police funded. They want a change in this country. So I feel really good about where things are going.
Baldwin wrapped up a statewide bus tour of her own this past week with a final stop in Appleton. She plans to campaign with Governor Tony Evers tomorrow in Dane and Milwaukee counties.